Sometimes loss shows you exactly who is standing beside you, or certitar. One miscarriage lead to me seeing boyfriend in a new light. Miscarriage so during a routine exam at my obgyn last week 13OF was told by my doctor that I was 8 weeks pregnant, but that it wasn't a viable pregnancy due to no heartbeat. This came as a surprise because I did experience what I thought was my period, but now I realize was more than likely implantation. Bleeding. My period has always been irregular, so that also was a factor in me not immediately assuming I was pregnant. All of that at play, along with the fact I'm on the pill. The pregnancy itself came as a shock, let alone losing said pregnancy. I ended up passing the pregnancy at my boyfriend's 2AM house. We don't live together yet, who I informed about everything. As soon as I left the doctor's office, I was worried as to how he'd react, since we've only been together since the beginning of August. Really stepped up to the plate to be here for me, having gone through a very traumatic loss of a child before. I lost my daughter when she was 10 days old years ago. This hit me harder than I was expecting due to my history of loss. He held my hand as I experienced the cramps, held my hair as I puked, held me as I cried. He was just everything I needed him to be without asking him or even realizing what I needed myself. Eventually I passed out. I woke up, but he wasn't in bed with me. I started to head downstairs when I saw him coming in from letting the dogs out. He started putting their food out, was saying how there was almost another little baby here in a few months, but the big man had other plans. He just stood there for a minute, started wiping his eyes before he told the dogs that he needed to go upstairs to check on Mama. I got back to bed before he knew I was awake. He wrapped his arms around me, fell asleep pretty quickly. Having been in a previous relationship with my ex-husband, who not only cheated on me but was physically abusive to me, seeing my relatively new boyfriend show such compassion, love towards me, healed parts of me that I didn't know would ever be fixed even during such personal turmoil with my miscarriage. The overall state of the political climate of the US right now, it's heartwarming to know that goodness still exists in the world. Directors amidst support looks exactly like this. Shuxamides, the hardest pain is the one you never saw coming. Or sorted to. I just found out my daughter self-harmed. She's 13 years old. I by chance saw a scratch on her arm, and the way she reacted told me it was something else. I got her to take her hoodie off, and there were cuts all over her arm. She had just done them the day before, but told me she's been cutting on her thighs for about a year. I'm absolutely heartbroken. Of course, thankfully, I actually already had an app scheduled to meet with a therapist for her tomorrow. We haven't told anyone, it's just so personal, but I'm absolutely devastated for her for what she's been going through. She used to talk to me all the time, now not so much, and what I need to get off my chest is that if failed her, I have my own mental health issues. Maybe I've been so preoccupied with myself that I missed a sign or something. She's always struggled with anxiety and slight depression, but I genuinely didn't think she was hurting herself. I feel like a horrible parent. I hate myself for not being better, for not being more present. If I would have not let her have internet access or paid closer attention or put her in therapy sooner, this never would have happened, but I missed it and she's paying the price. That's it. Just needed to type this into the abyss. After some realizations come with unbearable weight to mites. Survival starts with the smallest interruption. Sorter 3 Feb 28, 2018. I tried to kill myself. This is not a sad post, it's just something funny I thought of today. Was February 28, 2018. I decided to kill myself. My entrance exams were near and my preparation was so lackluster that I know I would never get into a decent college. My family didn't have the money to send me to private college, and I thought my life was finished. At least I think that's what happened. I honestly don't remember a lot about that day or about that time from my life. All I remember is that as I was readying myself to kill myself, my mom yelled out for me, "Babu chai piega." My mother calls me Babu, it's like baby but for boys. She asked me if I wanted some tea. I instinctively went on, and then the thought of my mom finding me dead made me say okay later. Then I had my chat with my mom, and I honestly went that I won't do it here cause I don't want my mom to find me in a lifeless state. I wrote a letter. And just in case the letter gets lost and they think I am not dead, I also added a Penzu entry, only one entry I have ever made in Penzu, and it's about I am going to kill myself. Don't ask me why, I know I could have used word anyway. All that happened. And honestly, I was too tired and went let's nap a bit then. Well, do it. Then I napped. When I woke up it was around 11 p.m. Tried going out, but was stopped in my tracks by my dad saying this late, go and sleep, and I went to sleep. Woke up the next morning and my letter was still on the table. This was the perfect moment. I could go out and do it and no one would know, but I just burned the note. I don't know why I didn't delete the Penzu note. I just closed the tab and went on with my life. Didn't get into a good college that year, had to take a gap year and retry, and then did get into a good college based on sheer luck. Every year I receive a mail from Penzu saying X years ago you wrote, and every year I look at that mail and think I'm still not ruined. 8 years ago I tried to kill myself. 8 years later I am doing better than my 16-year-old self would have thought of. Submits a cup of tea is enough. Uxamidi's absence hurts more than words. Sorcerer did for my grandfather passed away and my BF decided to go out with his friends. Him using a dump account. I really don't want anyone figuring out who I am. I just want to vent this out. Me grandfather decided to do euthanasia a week ago and was supposed to be scheduled next week. However, he changed his mind and decided to do it earlier than expected. Today was the day. It's been very tough on me and my family. He has dealt with cancer for a few months now and just couldn't take the pain anymore. I've been crying my eyes out the whole day and I really needed some type of emotional support from my boyfriend. I expected him to come by after his classes, he's in college, but then I got a text from him saying he was going out with his friends. With the actual fuck but wouldn't it be the most obvious thing to visit the person you love, especially when you are aware that she just lost a loved one? Isn't that common fucking sense? Even his friends know this. BC, I posted on my story, they even sent their condolences. And they didn't even think to tell my BF to come by and check up on me. Don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming his friends. I just expected better from all of them, including my Biffy. I'm genuinely thinking that this is breakup worthy. Andersons can be a decision. Final block opinion. In all these stories, one question remains: true stays when it hurts the most. Questions for the viewer: which action in these stories affected you the most? Where do you draw the line for support? Does love always show through words? Can absence ever be forgiven in the moment of need?